Tech Talk Live. Join the conversation now. Email your questions to info@midsoutaudio.com or call us live on the air. 302-491-6484. Tech Talk Live.
We're live? All righty. Well, hello and welcome to episode 5. Yeah, there we go. Episode number 5, Tech Talk Live. We didn't think we had 5 of these in us when we started. And we may not have 6. You know, who knows? We're glad to be back, and we've got the whole crew in here tonight, all the way on that end of the table. We have. Well, we'll start that when we come around. Yeah, we'll start with you tonight. Yes.
I mean, you shoved me all the way down here already.
I didn't place anyone. You know, I knew I was sitting here. So we've already talked about you having your own spinoff. So
it's going to be a great show.
It's going to, yeah. We were going to make that announcement later, but Dutch will be having his own spinoff. It's going to be called Dutch Wonderland, and it's going to be on the second Tuesday of each week. So all the way down on that end is Dutch Hine. Next to Dutch is Austin Carter. Sitting next to Austin is Stephen Ganong, and then we've got Michael LeCates, and we've got Gino Bailey, and we are here to answer your technical questions. You can ask us those questions. And we got Colin here at the control. Hey, Colin.
How are
happening?
you? Hey, it's all good.
And while we're still announcing people, we've got Katie.
There you go.
And Colin the second back there. Colin's switching video, and Katie is taking calls.
Say hi back there in the control room. Say hi.
Hi.
This is an audio show.
Yeah, there'll be no hand raising. That is Caitlin back there. If you call the office, everybody talks to her anyway first before they get to talk to us. So that's the way it works here. You'll call in, and she'll take the calls, and we'll get you on the air. So you can email your questions to tonight. We have a brand new email address. It's techtalklive@midsoutaudio.com. So that's a new email address for the show, techtalklive@midsoutaudio.com. That'll get us questions. We'll answer comments on Facebook, and you can call at 302-491-6484. Correct?
Call anytime. You can start calling now if you want.
You can call right now.
Questions, comments, suggestions. You'll take
and I guess
everything.
the first thing you should do is share the show. If you're watching, share it and get your neighbors to jump in. And besides that, I guess we can get started. You all ready?
Ready? Oh, look at the excitement.
Yeah.
Wow.
You better be ready.
Wow.
Easy now, easy.
Okay. It's not good.
Would you like to start with an email? Start with something easy?
Sure.
Okay, let's start with this. Rick from Salisbury. Did we mention the big winners tonight?
Oh, that's right. I forgot that. Tonight in the show, we will be announcing the winner of the Touch Mix 8, and Gino's pointing to it. There we go. There we go. The Vanna White, the Touch Mix 8 mixer. We have a winner, and I have the winner.
Oh, the sealed envelope.
Sealed contest winner envelope.
Whoa.
How about that? Yeah. Which Dutch is going to have one of these on his show because he thinks this is funny.
Well, I can't wait till you bring the giant checks in.
There we go. Well, that's the giant check. We'll be announcing the winner later tonight in the show, so stick around. And then in the last half hour of the show, the 8 to 8:30 hour, we'll be joined by Adam Griffin from Atlona. And Adam will be talking about everything that Atlona brings to the table via video technology and integration. So that's our featured guest this week. So we're ready to get started. I think I'm hearing the show from the other room. Is that annoying anybody else besides me?
Maybe.
Okay.
We can shut the door.
Okay. Cool.
Somebody can shut the door.
All right. Very good. All right. So
the guy closest to the door could shut the door.
Yeah. Awesome.
So the first question is from Rick from Salisbury, and apparently we've got a lot of Ricks that view the show because I believe there's several Ricks that have asked questions.
Are there? Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Rick from Salisbury. This is for the whole panel. What are your favorite mics for live sound in the following categories? male vocal, female vocal, electric guitar, grand piano, choir, and podium. We'll start with the male vocal. Who wants to take that one?
Well, he wants an answer from the whole panel, so I guess we'll just go around.
Okay.
This could take the rest of the show, so there's no need to, the show's over, and we'll answer this, and we'll be done. Go ahead, Jim.
Male vocal, I would do an SM58 probably, just a standard old-fashioned SM58.
I'm with Gino on that. SM58. Mike?
I would agree.
Anything other than an SM58, I'd take like a PR35. No, I'm not saying anything other than a 58. That 58 is great. I'm just saying if I have to choose something other than a 58, I think it's Heel Sound.
Heil,
PR35.
yeah.
Heil, yeah,
Yep.
that's what it is. Heil Sound, PR35s. Never steered me wrong.
I'm going to be different and say a 58. 58.
Okay.
Keep it simple.
All right, there we go. Female vocal.
Female vocal, yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to stick with the 58 again. I'm a simple kind of guy.
I'm going to go with a 57 for a
57.
female vocal. Yeah, I'd go with a 57.
It really depends on the girl's voice.
Well, of course it does.
It does. Because it could be a KSM-9 or it could be a 58.
It could. Yes. That's true.
What would you start with? I think is kind of where would you start?
It would be a 58. I'd start everything with a 58.
Okay.
I'd start with a 57. If I was on a desert island and I only had one microphone, it'd be an SM57. I wouldn't have anything to plug
That's
it
a
into.
very different question. That's absolutely the right answer to that question.
Go ahead.
58 for me as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose the same. A vocal mic's a vocal mic, really.
58.
Okay.
KSM-9s are cool too, though.
Did you already weigh in on the 58? You did. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys
Electric
go female
guitar.
vocal?
Who wants the electric guitar question?
Oh, man. I'm going to stick with SM57.
421.
Oh,
Yeah, I could be convinced of that.
what make is that?
It's
Sennheiser.
Sennheiser.
Sennheiser. Okay.
Yeah.
Or a Sennheiser 609. Depending.
There should have been a budget criteria.
Yeah.
See, if there was a budget criteria in the question, I think it would have, if they said the best mic for under $150, I would stay with the SM57. But if it was over $150, I would have gone with the 421.
For sure. Or like Michael just said, 609, right? Sennheiser.
Or if you wanted to be really picky, maybe a
440.
KSM 44.
I was going to say the Sennheiser 441.
And
Am
the
I correct?
609s?
No, the 441, the longer one.
414.
The 414.
That's the long silver one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a 414.
No, it's not
It's a 441.
It's
It's
a
a 441.
441. Yeah.
Come on, guys. Who's
Yeah.
the sound
It's a
guy here?
441. They're numbers.
It's silver.
Grand piano. Who's the piano?
I'm going to say
Aficionado.
414 on this one, on a grand piano.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna. Well, we're gonna get into an argument over this because we've already had one. I actually am partial to the Earthworks piano miking system.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, Earthworks.
And these guys A/B'd it the other day, and they absolutely were convinced that they liked the 414 better. But
I'm surprised you didn't say the PZMs.
well, those aren't available anymore. If those PZMs that we
You
have,
can still use them.
yeah, but the Crown PZMs are pretty good. But there's no current PZM that I would use.
Yep.
No, there's not. I wouldn't use a PCC 60, 160, or anything like that. So,
Yeah,
I would go with Earthworks. These guys are going with 414s. 414s are a great, choice. It's not a bad choice. Stephen?
I was going to say, I don't know if it has to do with how the mic is positioned, but we did a piano show live at Freeman the other day, or a few weeks ago actually, and I thought the 414 sounded a lot better than the Earthworks mics we had there. But a recent session we just did, I thought the Earthworks mic sounded so much better than the 414. So,
There
I
you
don't
go.
know.
It does have a lot to do with the piano. It has a lot to do with where they're positioned. For
sure.
So it does make a difference. I don't know the model of the lollipop-looking Audix mic that we use at the Avalon, but that's actually a great piano mic. It does not have a low-end roll-off. That's what I don't like about it. But besides that, it's a great mic. You don't like them?
I don't like them at all.
You don't like them at
Takes
all?
up the whole stage.
What's that?
It's the whole stage is all you get.
Well, that's just
Yeah.
because it's a piano and that they pick up everything. Yeah, but they're great when the lid's closed. They don't sound boxy with the lid closed. That's what I like about them. So, all right.
How about for a choir?
Let's let them sing louder and use a 57. There's tons of choir mics. I don't know. I'm going to say Earthworks Flex One will be my choice.
Yep, they're pretty great.
Absolutely. But Audix also makes a great one.
The Microboom.
Yeah, the Microboom. That it's a little more affordable, but
Yeah, that's a budget question. If you were like, if you had, if the budget wasn't an issue, definitely the Earthworks Flex One. And if you had to stay budget conscious.
Which one did we feature on the first show here? That was an Earthworks, wasn't it?
That was an Earthworks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they make they're a great microphone company.
And the last one, Podium mic.
No, hands down. Is there any
Earthworks.
argument? Earthworks.
Oh my God.
Earthworks.
If you're going to have a podium mic and you don't have an Earthworks, just stop using it because you don't know the difference. I mean, they're that good. They really are. It's amazing how those microphones will change your attitude about podium microphones. They're really unbelievable. So
We have a comment.
we do okay.
We do.
Yeah.
Online comment?
Stop talking about microphones.
Yes.
Why are these
Let's
guys
move
so
on.
opinionated? Yeah, because it's our show. What's the comment, Katie?
It's a comment from the beginning of the show from Jesse Davis. He says to always start with Dutch.
Well, Jesse, we've announced that Dutch is going to have his own spinoff, and he wants you to be his first guest.
He's going to be my #1 fan.
I already got an invitation to the fan club.
Hey, I see Charlie's on there. Hey, now, what's happening?
We have
see. Oh, and Derek Dutton's watching. Cool. Stephen Hunter's on here with us. So this is the first time I've actually been able to see who's actually hanging out. So
want to take another email? Alex
Sure.
from Laurel.
yeah, let's do that.
Alex in Laurel asks, or states, my son is a student at Sussex Tech. He will be a junior this year. He loves anything to do with music. Do you have any summer job programs available? He would love to work for free just for the experience.
Well, now, how about that?
That's in your price range,
That
isn't it?
changes everything, yeah.
Kevin heard one word in that whole paragraph.
We do have a summer internship program. This question, I think, was submitted before last week's show, so it's a little late.
Last month.
Yeah, last month's show. That's right. We only do this monthly. But so I would say have him get up with us, and we go through an application process just as if it were a regular paying job for our interns. And but we typically have interns every year. We've had an intern. Our interns left kind of early this year, but we had them. They got sick of working for nothing pretty quick. Usually we can keep it till August.
I thought it was a back to school early thing.
Yeah, no.
It was the pay.
They were gone before that. Yeah. So
Wow, but the
no comments.
The benefits are great.
There could be good comments from this, but we'll just move on because this show is archived and they could actually watch it. So yeah, the answer to your question is we do have interns and to get up with us, and you could do that by just contacting info@midsouthaudio.com.
All right, we have Ronnie from Georgetown asking a question, or actually he's got a nice comment here. He used to come by your studio quite often to drop off 78 RPM records for transfer to CD. Your guy in the back, Bill, always took great care of me. I understand that he passed away. I just wanted to say he always was a pleasure to deal with, and we spent a lot of time trading stories. He would have been great on this show.
He would have been great on this show. Yeah, he would have.
It would have been hard getting him here, but he would have been great on the show.
And we would have had to been 3 hours long because he would have never stopped talking. Well, we miss Bill a lot. He was a great asset and a very good friend, and everybody that came in was his best friend. So I'm sure that I don't know exactly which Ronnie from Georgetown this is. I think I know, but that's not like a lot of other stories that I've had. People who come in and just hang out with Bill and talk and we do a lot of 78 restorations. So still,
Still do that?
We do. Yes, still a lot of them out there actually.
Wow.
And we convert them to CD. I don't know what we're going to when CDs go away. I don't know what we're going to do with them, but anyway, we'll archive them or something.
We have a question from Joe. He wants to know, what is phantom power and can it be used on a wireless mic? Wireless phantom.
I like how all the sound guys are staring at each other.
Well, because I get accused of talking too much.
It's
I was
not
gonna
the
let
Kevin
somebody
show. I'm
else-
sorry.
I was going to have somebody else answer the question. So go ahead.
Okay. Phantom power is something required by condenser microphones, so therefore it wouldn't really work on wireless microphones because, well, for one, you can't transfer power through the air. and no wireless microphones are condenser mics. So it's just 48 volts that's traveled down a channel to provide power to a condenser microphone.
Yeah.
Phantom power is DC voltage superimposed over the audio lines, so it replaces a battery. It does not affect a dynamic microphone because it's sitting down pins 2 and 3, and with a voltage divider network, so it doesn't hurt a dynamic mic. And but like you said, you can't. There's no reason for phantom power, and when a wireless microphone has to have a battery, so phantom wouldn't.
And so a dynamic microphone like we're using here actually creates a voltage as you talk into it.
It does. Yep, a millivolt or two, maybe 7 or 8, 10 millivolts, something like that. It's a moving. A microphone is actually kind of the exact opposite of a speaker. A speaker, you apply voltage to the coil, and it moves the speaker in and out of the magnet. A microphone, it's taking the pressure gradient from my speech. As that pressure changes, it moves the coil inside the gap, and it creates a voltage on the output. So you could actually hook an output of an amplifier to this input, and you would hear sound through this coil.
Not very loud, but
not
you would
very
hear
loud,
it.
but you could do it.
And
if you're on a desert island and you needed your SM57 to work as a little teeny
with a solar panel,
it would work. You could listen.
And vice versa. I can remember it's kind of funny because my earliest recordings when I was a kid was on an old cassette player, and I made the mistake of plugging my headphones into the microphone.
You could talk into them.
Yeah.
And you could actually record through your headphones.
Yep.
And use that. And my first recordings of my early bands were actually through headphones. It's kind of weird.
How long did it take you before you were plugging it in? Wait a minute.
This was last week.
How long have you worked here?
Was this last week?
This was never disclosed until now.
I think I was in like 5th grade.
Well, in a lot of situations, like there are intercoms that the microphone and the speaker are the same device. So it's the same thing. But in a condenser mic, which requires a preamp, this is a passive device. I speak, the coil moves, it makes a voltage. In a condenser mic, there's a capacitor that has to be charged to keep the two plates hot. That needs back voltage. That's what is supplied by a battery or by phantom power. So we've totally confused this guy.
And typically a condenser mic is a lot more sensitive. It's going to pick up a lot more noise around, where a dynamic mic, you got to stay right on it. And
transient response is quicker. It's a lot more sensitive. The frequency response is typically bigger, larger. So, yes. Okay.
Let's move on.
So you don't use a lot of condenser mics on stage where they're going to pick up a lot of.
Yeah, we do.
You use plenty of them.
Yeah, I mean they can be less sensitive by decreasing the gain, but. I mean, like if we were gonna like the female vocal thing, everybody was talking about KSM 9s or whatever. Those are all condenser microphones.
Okay.
Because condenser mics sound a lot smoother on the top end, and they don't color the sound as much. A lot of people like them on female vocals. A lot of every overhead mic that you would use would be a condenser. Podium mics we talked about, choir mics we talked about, they're all condenser microphones.
Okay.
So, yep.
All right. Kat in Lewis has the next question. Hey, guys, we love MSA and get a kick out of the show. Thanks for taking the time to do it. My worship team has been strategizing about what our next investment in technology will be. Did I skip over a question? I'm being told this is the wrong question.
No.
I don't. Did we?
You didn't skip over one, no.
Well, we were. Maybe you did. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so loves
question are we
MSA.
Yeah,
I'm
we
on
should be going to
39.
40.
Yeah,
40 is next.
Okay.
40 is next.
40 was next.
Okay. All right. So we're going to do Rick. Another Rick.
There you go.
So here we go.
He's
Rick.
back.
I guess I have to admit it. I'm an old timer. It's not that I feel old, but I'm constantly reminded that I have fallen behind the times and technology has passed me by. I have a cell phone. I use Facebook. I bank online, but I feel like I'm always behind the technological curve. I often have to enlist the help of my grandchildren when I can't add a contact or need help with the cable box. I learned about your show from our tech team leader at church. I still volunteer, even though I don't feel like I contribute that much anymore. Bear with me. I'm getting to my point. Your show has energized me. I've started reading
I'm
more
really glad
about-
we know how you bank. That's good.
I've started reading more about tech subjects. I'm a devotee to your show, and I'm intrigued turn the page. I'm intrigued with the possibilities of being more involved. My tech team involvement began at a previous church, and when I came to my current church, I volunteered and was allowed to help out, mostly for my willingness to do the heavy lifting, not because of my technical abilities. We have a sound system, lighting system, easy worship, and video camera system. I would like to get the opinion of the panel about what area I might be successfully pursuing. Is one any easier than the other, given my limited skills? It seems to me that the sound folks have the most pressure, but that's just my observation. It may also be the most fulfilling. Please discuss this on your show. I will be watching. Thanks for your time. That's next to the lighting guys have the most pressure, right?
No, I mean,
I wouldn't recommend this guy for PowerPoint editing. I don't know that he's the guy that you
Rick.
remove
Sorry,
text.
Rick.
Sorry. I know he watches the show. I don't know who this is, but I don't want to insult him. We were having fun. I think the sound guys do have the most pressure. I don't know.
Yeah, if you do something wrong with lights, most of the time no one's going to tell you. But if you do something wrong with sound, you're going to have a line behind you saying you did something wrong.
Right, but I tell you what, there's
Now, that was actually a lighting guy conceded that okay.
Well, but I tell you what, nothing puts a show over the top more than lights, though. I think it takes an average sounding show and kind of puts it over the edge.
But I think his question is, what area do you think you can be the most experienced with the least technical ability? Or I guess is that kind of what if you're going to train him, which would be the easiest place to go? I don't think audio is that place. I think it's harder to teach someone.
It
to
also
be an
depends.
audio
I mean,
person.
if he's just dealing with conventionals, then yeah, I would agree with lighting. But if this is a church that has LEDs everywhere, has moving lights, then no, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I would actually think if you have the least amount of technical ability, that maybe putting slides up on the screen might be the place
something
to
in
start.
video, maybe that,
Yeah.
or starting with just being a camera op, and working your way into video
We
a
have a
little
call?
bit more.
We have a call. We've got Ike from Cambridge on the phone. Here, Ike, are you there?
We have Ike from Cambridge. Ike, are you with us?
Hey, Ike.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Well, guys, I play a little acoustic guitar, and I sit in with some guys, and it seems like nobody knows how to mic up an acoustic guitar these days. The boy they got to doing the sound, he's got her feeding back, and they tell me, so you need a guitar with electronics in it. So I buy a new acoustic with electronics in it. And my buddies, some other musician buddies, they come out to hear me play, and they say, Ike, it's better, but it's just, something's just not right yet. So my buddy's looking around, he's saying they're using a cheap direct box on you. So I just want to get a good recommendation on a direct box I could get.
All right, direct box recommendation.
I mean, I'm going to start off with just a director right off the bat, because, we use them. It sounds good. It's a solid box. It's not top of the line.
And it's acoustic guitar, so you don't have to have a super high-end direct box because you're going to have an active output from the guitar. A director will be a good choice.
That's just, a basic, solid DI.
What kind are you saying there?
A Whirlwind director.
And I didn't want to, I'm like, what am I going to do? Be buying a whole sound system just to get, something sound good there. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, the other, we could recommend a high-end direct box that would require phantom power, and then that's kind of depending on what mixer you have. But what Dutch's recommendation was, and I think it's a good one, is to go with a midline direct box that's passive, and that's made by Whirlwind, and it's called a director.
What would be the next step up in that if you're trying to go passive?
If you're going passive,
yeah,
would be a Whirlwind director with Jensen transformers, their upgraded version. I don't know what that model is, but that would be the next one. But
So
outside of
you're
that, you have
saying
to
the
go active.
Whirlwind, the director's a good one.
Whirlwind director, yes, yeah, it's a little higher end than their Imp series, and
Yeah, I don't know what they were using. My buddy just said, something cheap. So I don't know.
and there are some guitars out there that actually have microphones built in that you can blend the microphone sound in with the transducer sound of the pickup, and since the microphone's on the inside, you can adjust how much microphone you have and maybe not have the feedback issues that you were having. That might be.
Well, I just bought a guitar, so I don't want to be doing that again.
Okay,
So.
well then a director's like $70, right?
Oh, that's not bad at all. That's no trouble
Does
at all.
radio make a
$79.
passive?
Oh yeah, radio makes a passive. Yeah.
I don't know the model number of that
It would
one.
be a J, I don't know, something. I don't know. There's
I don't know
but
if that's
the Whirlwind Director is fine. And if you need one, you can send us an email and we can hook you up.
Very good.
We
Thank-
got them in
thank you,
stock.
boys. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. Have a good night.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks, Ike.
All right,
We
so
got a lot of comments. Is
we
that what
have a-
Katie? I heard Katie in the background.
You could hear her?
Slightly, yes.
Really? Okay. Well, Katie, tell us what they are.
I'm used to hearing her yell at me on a regular basis.
You're tuned into that voice, aren't you?
Aaron Morris says, "Hey guys, we've got a couple comments from Rachel Bailey. She said she would definitely watch Dutch's spin-off, and that
Fan number 2.
Number 2. He's doubled his audience.
It just happens to be my daughter.
and then she also says that the sound guys will always have dance moms on their tail.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Wow. Great point.
Kevin Wyatt has a couple things to say. He wants to know if there's no Dan tonight.
There is no Dan tonight.
Oh, Dan.
Dan, I guess. I thought they said no dance tonight, and I didn't know that we've been dancing. No, Dan filled in for you.
Filled in for me. Yep.
And he's not. He's not here.
He's too expensive.
We
We can only afford him once a year.
Yeah, we had to pay him. And there you go.
There was one comment here I do want to make a mention of, and I didn't want to correct Stephen earlier, but there actually is condenser microphones on wireless. Like KSM9 actually is a condenser head screwed on a transmitter.
Yeah,
So
I was just letting that one go because I'm a nice guy.
So Patrick, you are correct.
But this is Tech Talk Live. It doesn't say anything about it being accurate. We're just
It's
talking.
just live.
We're just talking. That's it. But that is true. You can have, any wireless mic can have any kind of element. You can have an SM58, a 57. You can have, or with some any other brand of mic. But you can have a condenser element. So, but still couldn't use phantom power with it, which was the question. But thank you, Patrick. So,
All right, we have another email question. You can also send your emails. Are you monitoring that right now, Kevin?
I am.
Live? You're
Yes.
monitoring it live.
I am monitoring
So the
it live.
new email is techtalklive at midsoutaudio.com.
And thanks, Ike, for calling us. The number, 302-491-6484. If anybody wants to call and join in. And we love the calls because we have absolutely no idea what's coming.
Right.
I didn't know where Ike was going with any of that.
That was pretty good. Now,
Yeah,
now
I was
we
a little
have an
scared.
email.
Yeah. I thought we were going to do it. He'd dance a jig from Ireland or something. Yeah. Have to. So go ahead. What's the next email?
Amanda, not my real name. It's the weirdest last name, but Amanda, not my real name. From Places
From
Unknown.
Places Unknown. I remember
there.
getting this one. Yeah.
I can't call in for fear of being recognized.
That's where Austin goes on his days off. Yeah.
It's really nice, actually.
Yeah.
I would really like to discuss this on the phone. Maybe you could disguise my voice. If that's a possibility, I could be persuaded.
Do we have that technology here? Can we disguise your voice?
Oh, yeah, just call in. Nobody will know it's you.
Yeah.
we'll disguise.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Amanda, give us a call.
So why all the cloak and dagger? I'm a keyboard player / singer in a fairly popular band at a local resort. The bottom line
Bar
is...
band, she said. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Bar band, yeah.
Yeah,
Did I miss the bar?
Yeah,
Okay.
you did, yeah.
The bottom line is we have a sound man that absolutely sucks. I'm not kidding one bit. He has no ears, and our bass player says mixes with boxing gloves. He does bring the band's gear to the gig, and he owns
so
the
that's
PA
how you got
and
the
the
gig.
trailer.
Yeah.
He owns the trailer.
Wait a minute. This is sounding suspiciously like
Is his name-
Rick.
Okay.
He can lift heavy things.
I think we found the guy.
Oh, boy. Can we have Jim check his records of what trailer he sold lately? Yeah. So this is getting good. I know why she doesn't want to call.
So he mixes with boxing gloves.
Oh, boy.
He does bring the band's gear to the gig, and he owns the PA and the trailer. But for the life of me, I can't believe he is capable of sucking that much. I need advice on how to fire him. Oh, this is employment advice.
We need to get our HR person in here.
Right now, my husband helps out with the sound to make it palatable.
And I'm sure he knows everything.
This really has to stop. Should I just break up the band and regroup without him? Should I just quit and start my own band without him? He thinks it's his band, and he thinks he owns the name, and bless his heart, he does most of the booking. He does very well with that, but he should just stay home and let us mix the sound from the stage. Any thoughts? I know Kevin and Gino have played in many bands. What do you guys think? I can't take that much more.
We've been fired from every band we ever played in.
He makes the band sound that much awful. Please help.
And we only got jobs because we own the PA.
I was going to say, I owned the trailer.
When I met Gino, he owned the PA and a trailer.
Sounds familiar.
But he was the bass player. He wasn't the sound guy. Wow. Well, she's got a problem. Who wants to handle this one?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just more of a therapy question. You know, it's just like, this is really not technical advice. This is kind of interpersonal
you could just get like
relationship
a
advice.
touch mixer, like a Behringer, put it on stage, give him an iPad, and make him think he's mixing the show, but just don't connect the router. You know.
No, can you give him other duties though?
Well, it sounds like he books the band. He does all the gigs.
That's what I'm saying.
He loads he schleps the gear around.
You can sell the idea of, we want to take some stress off of him by allowing somebody else.
What
to
they
do
ought to
it.
do is come into the studio, record an album, let him be the merch guy. He can sell the products. They can get T-shirts and merch. He can sell the products. They can mix their own thing. He can still book the gigs. But you can keep him away from the controls.
Right.
That's my idea.
Yeah,
we get a session out of them.
Because he is so valuable, you have to.
I mean, apparently the guy's doing a good job.
Yeah, I mean,
at some point.
now when she says he acts like he owns the band and owns the name of the band, that tells me there's other issues.
Yeah,
there's other issues involved there.
I think she should call and we should disguise her voice. That's what I think. Okay?
Just hold a rag over the phone.
Amanda, why don't you contact us by email once again, and you can call me at the office, and we'll set this up so you can call us live on the air. I think it will be a good phone call.
Get a balloon full of helium.
Yes.
And speaking of calling, you can do that by dialing 302-491-6484. Caitlin, do you have anything else for us?
We have some comments and a question.
Yeah, like anybody telling us to stop? Go ahead.
The question is, Kevin Wyatt wants to know if we offer tuning rooms, also with insight on studio treatment and speaker placement.
We tune rooms. Yeah. I was going in the wrong. I was thinking about practice rooms for a second.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I was in a whole different frame of mind. Yes, we have a Smart certified Austin Carter sitting here with us with his brand new Smart certification, and people were wondering, what does that mean? Does that mean he's smart? Well, yes, but he's Smart certified. Smart is a room tuning software, and he just completed those classes. So. Room tuning is what that's used for. It's software that measures the room, measures the response of the speakers and how they interact in the room, and then we can tune it. And we also do work with an acoustic engineer, a guy named Gavin Haverstick, who also can provide measurements of the room and do 3D modeling, and also make acoustic suggestions with different materials and things like that. So lots of options there. What was the other part of that, Katie?
We've got some comments. Our old friend Tripp just wants to say we are way too funny.
Tripp is listening?
He is.
He is. Uh-oh. We lost her.
We
lost her.
Audio tech.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Audio tech in the back room.
We saw that EV microphone she was talking through, and I think that, was it 635?
I think so.
Yeah.
The hammer.
Yeah, the hammer. Yeah.
Did you ever see the original commercial for that? The guy is using it. It's a reporter microphone, I
Right,
think,
yeah.
and he uses it, and he hammers a nail in a board with it, and then picks it up and keeps on using it. Yeah, we can hear you now, Katie.
All right, for Duchess fans, we've got Patrick would watch his show, and same with some other people. I'm trying to pull them up.
I'm getting T-shirts made. They're saying Duchess fans.
Duchess fans. Yeah. Okay, well, give us a call, 302-491-6484. And coming up shortly, we're going to reveal the winner of the competition, the winner of the Touch Mix 8, but that's coming up in just a few minutes. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back, and we'll get reorganized, and we're going to get a commitment out of Dutch to start his own show. So we'll be back. Stay with us.
Tech Talk Live. Join the conversation now. Email your questions to info@midsouthadio.com or call us live on the air. 302-491-6484. Tech Talk Live. Tech Talk Live. Join the conversation now. Email your questions to info@midsouthadio.com or call us live on the air. 302-491-6484. Tech Talk Live.
And we're back with more Tech Talk Live. The number to call if you want to reach us by phone, 302-491-6484. And we want to thank everybody for staying with us through the break. And we'd like everybody right now, if they could just share this with their friends, and we can do some audience building. So just hit share. And how do you do that? That's the bottom of Facebook. You click the share, and it's
there's a little error there, and I think it says share.
There you go.
Yep.
And
SHARE, not CHER.
Not as in sunny.
Right.
Yeah, or not. Okay.
Did we have a question on Facebook? Okay.
We did.
We've got a question from Alana. She wants to know if there are any annual conferences for audio that offer classes.
Oh, we do. Well, we don't. I'll start again. We do a worship conference at Crossroad Community Church with 88.7 The Bridge, and we're doing that on a every 2-year basis. So it's not every year, but there are classes, and we'll be doing that again in 2019. Right? We just did it. Yeah. So we've got a year to go.
2019.
Yes.
And then before, like, Infocom and AES and all those, do they do any? I know before LDI, there's a bunch of training
classes.
seminars.
Yeah.
Once you become
AES,
you sign up and you become part of these industry
trade
organizations, and at these conferences you can go get certifications and and there's classes, and you get to go hear all these different speakers and make your own opinions about the speakers and stuff like that. So I've taken many classes at conferences and stuff like that.
Yeah, so lots of opportunities. We have another email question?
Any more online questions, Katie?
The only Facebook question.
Facebook, okay. Said that was the only Facebook question?
Well, for right now.
Okay.
All right, let's not get fighting here.
Okay. All right. Easy on Katie.
Let's go to Norfolk, Virginia. Carter and Emily. You got that one back there for me, Colin? My wife and I play together in a duo in Virginia Beach. We would like you to help settle an argument. Please discuss this with the group. Is it better to use power speakers with standalone mixer, or is it better to use a powered mixer with passive speakers?
Austin.
I'm going to need specifics on the speakers and mixers here.
We're speaking globally.
It's only 2 sentences long.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I feel like it's pretty simple because if you get a powered speaker with a standalone mixer, I mean, you're going to have a lot more options than if you just had a powered mixer. I feel like they're kind of limited most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays there might be more. I mean, Michael
Typically,
might know.
and now a lot of powered speakers also have mixer capabilities in them. So if you had a powered speaker or a pair of powered speakers plus a mixer, you got a lot of built-in redundancy. So if your mixer went bad, you could actually just go directly into the speaker and use the speaker as a mixer. Or if your speaker went bad, you would still have a second speaker and a mixer. The other way is probably a little less redundant. There's lots of reasons. There's, financially, it may be the other solution may be better.
It's probably slightly lighter actually to do a standalone mixer with some powered speakers with today's powered speakers.
I mean, I guess it's also like how lazy are you? Because if you just want to run one cable, you need a powered mixer. But if you're okay with running a mic cable and power, then
and I think it depends on your power limitations too. Most powered speakers now are extremely efficient.
Yeah, they're all using Class D amplifiers, and they're
some powered mixers. If you're carrying around an old one, may not be very efficient.
Yep.
I think we learned that last show with talking with QSC.
Right. The efficiency is pretty amazing with the new ones. So, I mean, I don't know that it's a right answer or a wrong answer to that, but I think the technology leap has definitely been in powered speaker world, and definitely like with mixers like the TouchMix 8, like we're going to give away here in a minute. That mixer's got all the processing you could ever imagine on board, and if you coupled that with a QSC like K.2 series speaker, I mean, you got a smoking PA.
And another thing to consider, if you're outside a lot, you have to consider rain, and a powered speaker is a little more susceptible to damage from the rain.
However, QSC now has
QSC has the rain covers,
Yep.
but that's another thing to consider. A passive speaker is going to be better in the rain than a powered speaker.
Well, if you have a question, you can call us right now. We are live, 302-491-6484. Also, Tech Talk Live at Mid-South Audio if you want to email them questions in right now. Kevin is monitoring that himself.
I am.
And I'm sure he's not missed any tonight.
I have not.
I don't think. On it. I don't think.
I'm pretty sure. I'm going to check and see. And the phone number is 302-491-6484. What's the next question, Colin?
Next question comes from Tom from Lewis. Hello, audio gurus. I played drums for Bad Avenue on WBOC's Delmarva Life on July 24th, 2017. Your employee, Christian, did a masterful job of mixing the band. He was thorough and professional, and he didn't require any of us to alter our instruments in any way. I was especially pleased that I didn't have to accommodate some sound diva by duct taping my drums to a 5-gallon bucket effect. Also, all of us appreciate the gift bags. It was a nice gesture. I'll be in touch when I talk the band into making a CD.
Cool. Well, we like being a part of Delmarva Life, and Christian is typically there almost all those shows. Gino does a few of them, but Christian's usually in that rotation first, and we think he does a fine job, and we like the bands that are on there.
And I got to work with Christian. That's who was there Saturday.
That's right. Yeah,
Christian was on our show, the Jim Weller's show.
You weren't supposed to tell these guys that.
Oh, I wasn't.
We had to do some quick touch mix adjustments, so I had Christian come in because I knew he was quicker at it than I was. But they weren't supposed to know that.
Oh, you were supposed to get all the credit for that.
No, I just But he was doing it while I was thinking about it because he uses a Touch Mix 30 on all of the Tech Talk, all of the Delmarva Life shows. So.
And he knew exactly what to do. He went right to it.
He was on.
He figured out the problem.
We were in major time constraints.
Right.
So he was fast.
He was fast. Yep.
There you go. So, thank you, Christian.
Sorry about that, Kevin.
That's okay.
I didn't know.
I've
It was
been
a secret.
outed. It's okay. Which one's next? Oh, this is my favorite
Clayton
question.
from Athens.
We have got to get to this question.
All right, right now.
This
Clayton
is,
from
Jesse,
Athens,
if you're watching, Jesse, you need to
buckle up, Jesse.
Buckle up. Yeah. This is great.
All right, Clayton from Athens,
This is why
Georgia.
Dutch gets his own show right here.
He sends us an email. I met some of you guys in Birmingham, Alabama some years back. I was a drummer at the Primitive Baptist Convention. I thought you guys did a great job. I stumbled upon this show when I hit your website last week. I have checked all 4 episodes. Great stuff. Keep the faith. I have a Tuesday night engagement, so calling in live is not an option for me. If I would call, I would like to talk to Dutch.
Oh!
No offense, but I think he has the best advice. I think I heard that he was a drummer. Yeah?
No, I am not a drummer.
He prefers percussionist.
In fact, next month we're going to start off with Dutch soloing in the other room. We'll get in his own camera and a couple condenser microphones, and Dutch will just play us in and out of breaks. Yeah.
No offense, but I think he has the best advice. I think I should read this again. I think he has the best advice, and I think that I heard he was a drummer. I would like to hear more about that. What drum mics do you recommend?
Oh, I'm sure you'll be able to tell you.
SM57s on everything except the kick. That's a, how do you say that? Bear M88. I'll check out the show for your answer. Well, Mr. Drummer.
I'm not a drummer, but I will give you my recommendation for drum mics.
And he didn't stay in a Holiday Inn last night either.
I mean, I'll be quick so Gino can actually answer this the right way. But for a kick drum, I mean, I would go with a 91 and a 52. And then hi-hat and overheads, I prefer a 451 over an 81. I mean, you could probably go with a KSM 44 or something like that, but
that's the
not
best
a studio
drum
guy.
miking advice I've ever heard from a lighting guy. Ever.
And then I'm not done, man.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Give him a chance.
It's my turn.
Shut up.
For toms, 604s, and then for the floor tom, probably a 421.
You did exactly what I would do.
Nailed it.
You know,
We'll be right
because
back
I've
with
learned
more
from you
Dutch
guys.
Wonderland right after this.
Now, I tell you what, the M88 that he's mentioning is a great mic.
Oh, yeah,
That's a fantastic mic. And you know, I tried different combinations. There's a D112, an AKG D112 on a kick drum. That's a great mic. It really depends on what you're going for.
868.
868 is EV.
It's woofy.
It's
Not woofy.
It's very woofy.
It's not
But-
woofy. Move it. If it's too woofy, move
But-
it to the left.
I'd go through phases. Like at the beginning of the summer, you know, I did the combination of the B52 and the 91, and then I kind of got away from the B52 and left the 91 by itself. And even pumping that 91 through the sub,
So
it,
tight.
it was really tight and gave me a great sound.
And you can add a Yamaha sub kick, which they don't make anymore, but it's still a pretty cool device.
Yeah, and then you know by the end of the summer, I was back to using the 52 and back with both mics. You know, so I go through changes and it, depending on the drum, the application, actually the percussionist, you know who's doing it. Yeah,
We skipped the snare.
the snare.
Oh, that's a 57. Come on.
I didn't say it was a
Right.
difficult question.
However,
I just
are
said
you
we
going to
skipped-
mic the top and the bottom?
No.
Please.
No.
There you go. Okay, good, good. There's hope right there. There you go. Best answer ever.
From a
no
lighting guy.
bottom snare miking.
It's hit or miss, really.
You're from the drummer.
Yes, there from the drummer. Yes, I'll take my advice from Dutch if he's not miking the bottom of the snare. That was, I don't know how they thought Dutch was a drummer, but that's a great question. I remember those events that we used to do. So we got to do this, guys. We got to give away this
Okay.
Katie knows the winner. She's and I believe that they have been contacted.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to reveal it, but actually,
Do we have a drum roll?
Katie knew. Yeah, drum roll.
All
There
right.
you go.
The drummer. I didn't bring my sticks.
We've been doing we've been doing a contest. Actually, it started 2 months ago when we had QSC was on the show as a guest, and we've been taking. People have been sending in their best reasons why they should get a TouchMix 8, and out of all the applications or out of all the emails that QSC received, they picked a winner at random, and this was the winner. So I'm going to read it.
It's $1,000 piece of equipment, isn't it?
And it is $800 and some dollars, right? 800 some, 900 some bucks, 800 some.
Yeah.
900.
Ben Sorrells is the
Ben
winner of the
Sorrells.
TouchMix 8, and I understand Ben's on the phone. Is that right? Ben, are you there?
I am here.
Well, congratulations. You are the winner of a TouchMix 8.
I am thoroughly excited.
Cool.
We've got our QSC speakers and an analog board, and so I am very happy to learn the TouchMix 8 and replace our analog with this nice new digital board. We're excited.
You just got new K2, K.2, K10.2s, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we did, and
This
we
is
are
gonna be
enjoying them to death.
This is going to be a great a great addition to that sound system, and I was really happy to know that when I saw that you were the winner. So
Well, thank you. I'm very happy too.
cool. We just recently did an event with Ben's band, and Ben also works for for 88.7 The Bridge.
Okay.
and
That's
is
right.
coordinate. We're doing an event with Ben this weekend. What's the act you're having in Crisfield?
David Dunn.
David Dunn on Sunday, right? Is that Sunday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Yeah, cool.
That's Sunday. Yep.
Well, you were picked at random by QSC. Congratulations! I'm glad they picked your number. Thanks for letting us call you on the air.
I am excited. Thanks again so much.
Cool. Take care. All right. We have our winner then. There we go.
All right.
That's been it's been a popular contest. We got a lot of response to that and a lot of emails, a lot of creative stuff. So we're glad that we're happy for Ben, and I'm pleased for everybody that joined that contacted us.
Well, that's an amazing gift. I mean, to think that they're going to give away
really stepped up.
Yeah, they did.
Yep. And we've got tonight's guest is at Lona. Adam Griffin will be on the phone with us in just a little while coming up, but we're going to try to squeeze in some more questions before that happens. Who's next?
Well, Kathy from Milford.
Okay.
I talked to Dutch.
Get this show. It's in Dutch Wonderland.
I talked to Dutch and the Brandy.
I could do the jingle. I would do the jingle. Yeah.
At the Freeman stage this summer about some lighting console questions. They were both very helpful. I have a little bit of training on a hedgehog from my church. However, I'm involved with the PTA at my children's school, and they want to upgrade their lighting console. The one they have, I don't know the name, does not have the ability to save any scenes. It's very old. I think the hedgehog is too elaborate for their needs. What do you recommend? I told Brandy I would check out our budget. I did, and it looks like we have about $3,300 to spend on this purchase. Thanks for taking my question.
Oh man.
Now the spotlight's on you. There's a lighting question. Run with that one.
I was going to say Evo, but if the Hedgehog's a little too much, then I feel like, the Evo and the Hedgehog are kind of the same level. So, if you just have conventionals and no movers or anything like that, I would almost recommend like a Electronics console because it's a rock-solid console. It's never going to fail on you. You're going to be able to store multiple scenes. It's going to be under your budget. Another one I would recommend is a Maxim, but I feel like with a Maxim, that's going to be above your budget.
Yeah,
what about the dongle, though?
I understand, but you're still using the same kind of software that's on the Evo, and the Hedgehog is kind of the same thing. So if that's a little too much, I feel like...
Part of it also has to be a little specific to your system, because if it's an older system, it may be on a different protocol than most new boards operate on, so... One thing to consider.
And if it's not saving scenes, then it is probably old. It could be LMX instead of DMX.
Yeah. So.
And then then Electronics would be the way to go.
Yeah. But.
So I'm just reading this question again. She has a Hedgehog at church.
Yeah.
And she wants to get one for the school.
Yep.
And they have $3,300 to spend. Is that what the deal is?
Yes.
Okay. And you're recommending Electronics.
But it would probably be best to do a consultation and see the room, see what you have.
That's if they only have conventionals.
Yeah. It doesn't really say that here, does it?
Yeah, it's probably best to see what you're working with. Then
if they're not saving scenes,
option.
I don't think they have any kind of LEDs or moving fixtures.
Right. Okay.
Now, Kevin told me about a lighting console one time that seemed pretty simple.
I did.
You told me about one that an electrician built.
Oh, God. No? Come on. Let's not go there.
Don't go there.
Well, we can. It's actually at my church. Yeah.
And, you said there was lots of hours put into building it and everything.
Hundreds.
With
yes.
Regular switches
with a mechanical fader, a piece of sliding metal. It was like it built in a metal shop that actually moves the rheostats on each one of these lighting faders. Everybody here has seen it. You've seen it. Yeah. It's ingenious.
It's pretty neat.
It is pretty nifty. It's extremely inefficient. And it's huge. It's like the size of this desk.
Is it made out of plywood?
It's got a custom metal top with a hardwood box that it sits in. It's a piece of furniture.
Wow.
Yeah. And totally impractical. Completely. But that's what we have. So we're and now the dimmers are noisy and they're causing interference in the VGA lines to the video. Were you there when we were trying to make it arc? Yeah, and we did.
No, you made it arc.
We did make it arc. Yeah, and I think they were getting tired of it at church when I was causing it to smoke by showing that the dimmers were probably bad. So, but anyway.
Yeah. I'll get you out of this one, Kevin.
Okay.
Katie's got a question.
Okay, good. Katie, get me out of this.
Hey, Kevin.
Beam me up.
Lulu CG wants to know why you don't like to mic the bottom of the snare.
It just doesn't sound good. I don't know. I mean, because I think that the fewer mics you have, if you could mic a drum kit with one microphone, it would be, in a perfect world, that would be great. The fewer microphones you can use, the less problems you have with phase cancellation and interference from other microphones. And when you've got two opposing microphones like that, one up and one down, there's a benefit, and there's a different sound on the bottom of the snare, and you can get some brilliance out of it and some of the quicker transients or whatever. But you know what? You can get that with just brightening it up a touch with a decent EQ or moving the mic around or something. I don't think you need two mics to accomplish that. That's just my opinion. A lot of people do it. But I see just as many people that put two overheads up and put them both in the center. I can't figure that out. They'll have a stereo PA, and they'll put two overheads and pan them right in the middle.
Right.
How many people have we seen this year that have had stereo PAs and not panned anything? A fair amount.
Yeah.
With very minimal panning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of odd.
Let's go to the audience. The audience has
Okay.
has an answer for that, or comment anyway.
Okay, good.
Patrick commented that he's been playing around a bit with SD condenser mics on the bottom of his snares.
Now, Patrick is Lulu's boyfriend. That's true.
Yeah.
They're both from GNTV.
Which mics are you using?
I don't think he said.
You said an SDC.
Did he say?
SDC? Yeah.
SE7 or C?
SD, small diaphragm condenser. Like a
Yeah.
81.
Okay.
An 81. Let's say it's an 81.
It's a preference thing. It's if you can't get what you want out of the
That
drum
was just
mic.
too hip. SDC, small diaphragm condenser? Really?
Could have been an LDC.
Large diaphragm condenser. I am just not hip with that term. I'm sorry, Patrick. I did not know what you're talking about.
I think.
You know what? If I tell you what, if you're gonna put a microphone on the bottom of the snare, that's what I would do. Would be a SDC, a small diaphragm condenser, like a 441 would be a great mic for that, or 414, 441. Don't give me that look,
Didn't
lighting
you just
guy.
say small?
Yeah,
441.
That's the pencil condenser. That's the pencil AKG.
451.
451.
That's a 451.
I was like,
Excuse me.
441's like this big.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
come
know.
on, man.
451. What do I know?
Fours and
That's the
ones
guy
and
in this
stuff.
seat. Yeah. Too many numbers. Yes, the small pencil AKG condenser is a good mic for the bottom of the snare. I mean, that's like the microphone of choice for percussionists, for orchestra. So it would sound really good on the bottom, and you can mix it in. However, you could just not do that and use a microphone on the top that
Right.
sounds
And
good, like an SM57.
Yeah, and I have to say, a couple of years ago we did the one of the Navy bands at the 4th of July Festival in Easton, and it was one of the best sounding kits I'd ever heard in my life. And what the guy did is he had a string tied to the front of the kick drum, and he lifted up this PZM that he had mounted on a stand, and that was it. It had a ton of kick drum, it had a ton of cymbals, had everything you wanted. But that guy knew exactly where he wanted to place it. That measuring string was there, and he had that mic, and he'd figured it out.
With that one
With
mic.
that one mic.
Yeah.
So it really depends on, your preference and how hard you want to work and, how much flexibility you want to have.
Earthworks sells a drum mic package that's only 3 mics, it's a kick and 2 overheads.
Yeah.
So, the fewer the better, I think. So, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. It's happened before. So, hey, do we have another question?
We want to get another quick
Sneak
email
one in
question before we take a
sneak
break
one in
here.
before we take a break and then go to Adam
Yep.
with that Lona.
This is Tom from Oxford. Let's see. Some quick hits, boys. Your thoughts, please. Why are guitar players so loud?
We don't know.
Good question, man.
But they are.
Let me know when you find out the answer.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. This will be fun.
I'm always getting complaints that the band is too loud. I just shake my head. The band totally ignores me. Should the sound man have to provide the guitar player with a cable for his acoustic guitar?
Oh, wait a minute. Let's take these one at a time. Absolutely. If the guy's having trouble mixing, it's always because the band's making too much noise on stage.
Yeah.
I agree.
Stage volume is a real problem. This isn't a joke.
Stage. Yeah, this is no joke. We're serious. Stage volume is your biggest enemy.
Like PSA right now.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Next one.
Okay. Should the sound man have to provide the guitar player with a cable for his acoustic guitar?
Never, but we always have to. We always have to do it because they don't bring.
I'd rather provide them a cable so I know it works.
works.
Well, then there's that. They can't take care of themselves usually, so we have to provide it. So I'm sorry. I'm going to have guitar players like all over me tonight. But,
hang on. You can offend keyboard players here next.
Okay.
Why can't keyboard players keep their patches at the
God.
same level?
Man,
this drives me
brothers right
nuts.
now, Tom.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. I don't know who this guy is, but he's lived it. Yes. I don't know the answer to that. Would some keyboard player call in and tell us why they can't have all their patches at least relatively the same volume? That would be nice, because that never happens. What's next?
I think all bass players should change their strings at a minimum of once every 10 years.
There are bass players that don't change their strings much. That's true. And then there are bass players like Gino and I who change our strings constantly because if we don't, they turn to rust. But, that's okay. Drummers?
And this one's for Dutch. Drummers, please stop speeding up. Had to vent.
He sure did. Wow. Well, we haven't made any guitar player friends. We love guitar players. We just, we like them to turn down because they are usually really, really loud. And they think it's, the only way they can get. We were doing a show the other day, and a guy had a Princeton. It was like a 15-watt amplifier, and he was almost as loud as a PA. I mean, it's unbelievable. It was turned around backwards. It was still loud. So, are we out of time for this segment of the show?
We are.
We're going to take a quick break and then come back with Adam from Atlona. Correct?
That's
okay.
correct.
All right. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Tech Talk Live. Join the conversation now. Email your questions to info@midsouthaaudio.com or call us live on the air. 302-491-6484. Talk Live.
Well, we're back. And you know what? I had Adam's bio here, and I was going to read it, and I have totally fallen down on the job doing that. So why don't someone stall for a second while I look this up? There we go. I think I found it. Well, now my phone's locked up. Oh, that's nice. That's special. Adam's on the phone. He could probably tell us, all about his own bio. But Adam
Go straight to the source.
Adam is with Atlona, and
hey guys,
we've been.
how are ya?
Hey, Adam, how you doing?
I'm good.
Well,
Thanks
thanks for joining us. And I had your bio all prepared, and I don't know if you just heard that or not, but my phone locked up when I got ready to read it. So I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
We've been associated with Atlona now for a few years and have been installing their products. Atlona brings a lot of solutions to the table. And Adam has worked with us in a lot of different installations to make sure we've got the right solutions and how to implement them. And we're glad to have Adam as part of the show. And I think we probably ought to just get started, Adam, by you taking the ball here and running with it. And we may have some questions. It's hard to tell what'll happen. This show's been a little crazy tonight, so who knows? We decided.
Yeah,
we're
that's fine. I can definitely take it from here. Can you see my screen? Are we sharing the presentation here?
We see it. Understanding 4K UHD video, ultra high definition. Yes.
Yeah, so we'll take what I've learned in 19 years and put it into a 20-minute presentation here. And it's kind of funny. The video category these days is getting a lot of attention, and I think because it's moving so quickly and it's becoming such an important part of performance spaces, and there's a lot of things happening, especially with 4K and UHD. We're hearing a lot of. So what we're going to talk about today really is just what that is and what 4K is and how can we deal with it in your environment and what you need to think about. So certainly, if we get any questions, guys, let me know, and I'll try to answer it as best I can.
Okay, we will. We will interrupt you as we go, and Michael will interrupt, or I'll interrupt. Hang on.
Can we take a call? We can take a call too.
Yeah, we can take a
somebody
call.
wants to call
That's
in,
right.
so.
Yeah. So let me just give that number out before we get started. The call-in number is 302-491-6484. If you have a question for Antlona as he starts with his presentation, so take it from there, Adam.
Sure, sounds good. Well, one of the most important things we always want to talk about is what is 4K. We'll walk into retail stores and we hear about this term that's being thrown around a lot. The most important part of the component here of 4K is the resolution. So what is the resolution of 4K? It's actually 4,096 pixels across the screen, and the horizontal pixel count is 2,160. Well, unless you're really good at math and can divide those two together, you want to understand what the aspect ratio means when we talk about 4K. So since somewhere around 1998, 1999, we started seeing 16 by 9 displays. That was the aspect ratio for high-definition video. But the funny thing that's happened here with 4K is that it's actually 17 by 9. And that is not an aspect ratio that we see in the displays that we can go and purchase, unless it's a front projection screen where we can really display any aspect ratio. 17 by 9 is not a standard display that we can purchase on the market. So this is what it would look like. It would be if you remember the old days when we first started to come out with these widescreen TVs, we had bars on the top and the bottom and bars on the side. Well, we're here again. So a true 4K signal displayed on a 16 by 9 display that we would purchase today would have gray bars on the top and the bottom. You wouldn't actually see the entire set. And consumers and end users don't want to see that. They want to fill up every pixel that they purchased. So that's where we find UHD. UHD is a reformatted 4K signal to fit on a 16 by 9 screen. So it is a true 16 by 9 format. We trim a little bit of the horizontal pixels away from the screen, and voila, we fit the entire image on a 16 by 9 set. So we have nearly 8.3 million pixels. There's a lot of information here, lots of color, but that's the difference between 4K and UHD. UHD is simply the consumer formatted version of 4K. And there's your resolution that we take a little bit away from that, and it fits the entire screen. So we can take a quick little snapshot of the history of resolutions here and see where we're going. We have high definition, that's 1080p, where we were over the past 15 years, moved into UHD and 4K, and we can just see how that formats a little bit differently. You get a little bit less information. Thankfully, most producers are shooting video understanding that their 4K signal is going to be trimmed down a little bit, and it's going to be put on a consumer UHD set. So it's being produced with that in mind. Therefore, we're really not losing much content that the original producers would have put on there.
That was the question I was going to ask you: is if content is being formatted, and it's originally to go into a 16 by 9 format. If that's being planned because they believe it's going to be viewed on a consumer.
They do.
Okay.
They do. Remember when we used to see, when we would see a movie on cable 20 years ago, and it said this screen has been, or the format has been edited to best fit your screen.
Yeah, I always wondered how they knew what size my screen was.
They knew that you had a 4:3 screen. They didn't care how big it was. They just knew what the aspect ratio was.
I see. I didn't know that then. Okay.
So they don't put those warnings up anymore, but that's what that is. UHD is simply the consumer version of 4K. 4K is still edited. It's shot in original 4K because when we have a front projector at a cinema or some other type of display that can actually reproduce it, it will show all the pixels. But every
How
other
about
display in the world.
How about home theater 4K projectors? Are they showing actual 4K, or are they showing in the?
They absolutely are. They are. If the beautiful thing about those is that you can set the aspect ratio, the native line resolutions of them. So if you have the proper screen size, then yes, they will absolutely show a true 4K output. Yeah. That's some of the advantages of a front projector versus a fixed display that can't change its aspect ratio.
You were talking to the other Adam Michael and I were talking today about you got a Netflix thing that came up that said you can convert to.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were offering it, but I know even Netflix now has made it so one subscription is just 1080p, or you can spend a couple more dollars and it's for UHD or 4K.
Yeah.
But it's UHD. It's 4K UHD. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how it said. I think it was
UHD. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because once that signal touches a commercial display that is a UHD, 16:9 format, that would be moved down to a UHD signal at that point.
So how does that Lono work into all this 4K business?
Well, it's a lot of work for us because every time a new format or line resolution comes out, we have to go back and engineer all of our products. We are always going to be building products that are not going to be the lowest common denominator or the missing link for performance. So everything that Atlona sells is true 4K pass-through, and it just lets the end user or the AV designer know that when they're designing a system, you don't have to worry about the components in between the source and the display, that our products are going to be there and it's going to be able to pass the 4K signal.
And that's conversion is a problem in every video system, because every video system that we come into unless we're starting today with all new gear, you have multiple formats, and that's where it starts at the drawing board. It's like, well, what are we keeping? What do we got to integrate into this? How do we have to make this all work together? And that's where I know you guys have come in and been a great solution, because I mean there's still we get requests. People still want VGA inputs.
Yes. Absolutely, and we still sell products with VGA conversion and up conversion on there. Or in that case, it would be down converting.
Right.
But we still sell thousands of products every month that have an analog or VGA connector on it, and it's here as long as we have sources that have analog outputs, and they're going to stick around for a while. A lot of school departments and end users just simply don't want to get rid of their laptops or sources that seem to work fine, and with us, they don't have to. We can make a 4x3 analog source that was built 20 years ago display on a 4K monitor just fine.
This is this is what I'm seeing a lot more now than I would have seen 15 years ago, is that there was a real large chasm between pro video and consumer video. I mean, what you could go to a Walmart or Best Buy and purchase was just not the same thing that you would want to use in a house of worship or in a boardroom or whatever. But now we see people that are bringing in, they're bringing in 4K displays and they want us to integrate them. And I mean, it's like the line's been blurred between consumer and prosumer and professional video. Do you find that?
Well, yes, for marketing specs and for things that are trivial like line resolution. Everybody has a 4K display. Everybody has a typical monitor that can hit these line resolutions. But there's still a clear difference between consumer and professional projectors, displays, LED walls.
So can you talk a little bit about that, because like getting past the hype of 4K, because there's we went through an era where there was digital everything. I mean they were selling digital headphones, which aren't really digital, but everything had to say digital, wanted to market it, and that's what I think you're finding now. If you walk into Walmart, you're going to find that everything has 4K on it, and you might not be getting real 4K resolution. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, one of the things that you have to be concerned about is first we just talked about resolution. So any display manufacturer can say that they faithfully display the pixel for pixel count on a lower end monitor versus a high end monitor. But that's sort of like just simply comparing horsepower numbers on a car. There are a lot of other things that go into the experience, and one of the things is how does that display actually get controlled in the environment? So in a consumer display that you would purchase at Walmart or Best Buy, they're assuming that you have a remote controller sitting in your hand that you're flipping through channels and using your volume up and down. But in an installed environment in a house of worship or in a school or a boardroom, it's different. We have control systems. We need RS-232 and LAN control to turn those displays on and off. Many times you don't get those features in a consumer product. The other important thing is how long is it going to last for? Most consumer displays have a 90 to 180-day warranty in commercial environments, where a true commercial projector will have your 1, 2, 3, or 5 year warranties for 24/7 operation during that period. So very, very different. You want to make sure that it's built to a commercial level for performance, the power supplies are stable, and that it can be properly controlled in the environment.
I think those are all extremely critical things because that's what we run into that a lot. That we go to a client that says, we'll take care of buying the panels. We've got that because because they're standing in line on Thanksgiving Day and spending $89 for a 60-inch panel at Walmart, and it's just not the same thing. And you're right, you have no control. There's no RS-232, and they find that those are becoming they're almost beyond disposable because they're not going to last very long at all.
The other problem that we run into as a manufacturer who makes the black boxes that sit in between the source and the display is compatibility with HDCP.
Okay.
Now, that's high bandwidth content protection. And what happens is every couple years there's a new rev of content protection. The people who are creating the video content want to protect it and make sure that it can't be copied and illegally distributed, which is fine. But we need to make sure that all of the video products in line are compatible with the level of HDCP that the content provider has put on that content. So right now, with all these UHD and 4K sources and or pieces of content that are coming in from Netflix, for example, they're using what's called HDCP 2.2 protection, which means if you have anything that is not 2.2 compatible, you get no picture at all. And we have customers who have purchased entire AV systems a year ago, and they bought it from an internet provider. They went on Monoprice, or they bought, these lower priced video connectivity products.
Wait a minute, did you say Monoprice?
Yes.
I heard that. Okay, I want to say that again. Monoprice. Okay, they went there and they had a problem. Okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah. What a surprise!
That's never happened in our world.
We saved about $40 on their HDMI extenders per display. So they had 8 displays, and times $40, it certainly adds up to some real money. But what they didn't realize was that they were HDCP 1.3 standard, which was a standard that was relevant about 7 years ago. So they put in these new Apple TVs, a nice new laptop. They had a new Lenovo Yoga laptop. They put in a new Xbox. All of these were sources for their entertainment system, and they realized that all of the connectivity that they bought in between displayed a black box on their display, and they had to go back to the drawing board and replace it all with that loaner product. And it was a costly endeavor for them that they tried to save a little bit of money up front, but they had to pay the installer to come back twice to put in the right stuff.
We've had situations like that where there's been distribution systems that clients have purchased, and all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore, and it's because there was just compatibility issues, and that's what dealing with a manufacturer that stays on top of those things. it may be a pricier solution, but it's going to be a long-term solution that's going to last, and that makes a big difference. And I know that's what you guys got to chase all the time. Things are constantly changing. So
some things are a little bit out of our control too. We want to try to guide people to make sure that they're making the right decision. One of the big things that we need to help people out with is the infrastructure, the actual wiring and the cabling that they already have. We were just working last week in Boston with someone who had purchased a restaurant, and this restaurant had an AV system installed 5 or 6 years ago. It had Cat5 cabling pulled everywhere, and it was a good working system. Of course, when they purchased the restaurant, there were no displays and there were no sources. They understood that they had to buy those, and they bought new 4K sources and they bought new 4K monitors. What they didn't realize was that they had standard Cat5 wire in the walls. So when they tried to send 4K over that at a very, very long distance, they didn't get any picture. They needed to budget to rewire to Cat6 because the bandwidth of 4K is 4 times that of a 1080p signal. So that's another little, gotcha that even if you get the right connectivity, you need to make sure that you have the right wire in that wall, or else you're not going to be able to see that great 4K picture.
I think we've got a slide. Can you put that slide up, Colin?
Adam, can you put that slide? I know it was in your presentation.
I do. Let me just fast forward a little bit here because we covered a lot of this stuff. It's right here.
There we go.
And so there's kind of our history of category wire that we put video over, but these are the distances. So if you check this out, on this, you'll notice that there are 2 different chipsets for sending video over category wire. You'll notice there can be a pretty big difference here between, on the right, you can see a 1080p or less signal on Cat5 wire can be matched out at somewhere in the neighborhood of 197 feet. But if we use, on the left side, you'll notice the better chipset, which we use, and the higher bandwidth cable, like a Cat6 to 8 wire, we can go a full 328 feet for 4K video. There's a big difference there. And in commercial environments, it makes a difference. In residential, not so much. We don't see a lot of 100-meter runs in homes. At least not in my home. There are some out there, but we don't see it a lot. But I'll tell you, you go from the front of a building to the back of a building, and if it's your typical hall that can hold a few hundred people, boy, that becomes a real serious problem. So you need to make sure that you buy quality products that use the Class A chipset, which we use. And you need to make sure that you're using a quality wire if you want to do 4K.
And you also need to that's where a good installer comes in that can actually test the cable, test the structure wiring that they're putting in when they're attaching connectors to it, and actually make sure that the right bandwidth is going through. And it's not just because these aren't cables you're picking up, on mono price, and pulling through pulling through the wall. You're going to be terminated on site, and that becomes critical because sometimes just because you have the right cable, if the connector's not attached properly, then it's not going to pass the signal. So
there are some do-it-yourself kits out there that are using what's called Quick Connects.
Yeah,
and Quick Connects, I guess they meet their advertisement quite well by saying yes, they quickly connect the wire, but they don't say that they're good connects because they're not good connects.
There used to be
want to use Quick Connects for this type of video.
There used to be Quick Connect kits for Category 3 cable in the telephone world, and it wouldn't even pass a telephone signal. So, let alone video at this speed. So, it's
keep in mind. It's not just video.
That's right.
Over that wire, it's 48-volt power. It's USB, it's IR, it's RS-232, it's LAN, and 4K video. All of that's happening on that one wire. So it is critical. It's very, very important. Don't use that stapler, that pneumatic high-impact stapler to staple that thing to your 2x4s. You want to really treat that wire correctly.
And I mean, those can be you can have a wire that's terminated properly and just at a 90-degree angle and have a problem. That, with a kink in it. I mean, that's actually hard to believe that you can actually kink a cable and affect the electron path, but that is actually the case. That can happen.
Sure can. Sure can. Absolutely.
I mean, I've had people that don't believe that can happen, and you have to demonstrate it. It's like, well, look, you can actually kink this wire and make it stop working. Like it's like a water hose. You know, it's like, look, no more signal. So that doesn't, and that if we were passing DC, it wouldn't kink it, but we're not. That's a lot. That's a lot of information that's going really, really fast.
Yeah, that same wire is used for internet infrastructure, and if that particular drop has a kink or a problem or a slightly lower bandwidth in it, you might just get that email a little bit slower on that drop, which isn't the end of the world. But for video, you just simply don't get it because it is constant streaming of maximum bandwidth up to a gig. So, yeah, it's very, very important.
We're talking with Atlona right now. Atlona is a manufacturer of a multitude of video products and solution products they bring to the table. And we have Adam is joining us for this conversation. We can take your calls at 302-491-6484. Your comments on Facebook are welcomed, and if anybody has any, we will be sure to get those in. And Adam, we appreciate you joining us, and I didn't want to interrupt you, but as time moves on here, we got a few minutes left. We just wanted to invite people to call. So
bring it on.
Yeah. If we can have get a question here, we'd love to pass it on. So what you're providing with Atlona is solutions of moving the video signals and combining all that control and everything, and because it's gotten more complicated. I mean, it's not just people aren't just using a remote to control their projector. I mean, they're controlling things with RS-232, and we're controlling video, and it's all coming down one cable, and that's what your boxes do. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it used to be with both analog audio and analog video, you could literally just split your RF signal and send it to different displays and combine things in the analog realm, and it was a lot more easy to deal with. It really was. But now with digital video and the HDCP stuff and the content protection, you can't just put a little splitter in there and get video going to multiple places. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to deal with. We handle it all. We have an in-house team that can look at your drawing or look at your particular needs and connect the dots. We don't need everyone to be experts on the black boxes. That's what we do. Just, let us know what you have for displays and sources, and we can put the stuff together on the inside. I actually have a couple pictures here of some examples of how we get content from one place to another. So, this is an example here of a couple sources going to one display, and that's over a long category wire between the two. It's very, very simple, but this has become very, very popular. We have stuff like this where we have one source to lots of displays, which is a simple solution, but we have the box to do it. We have, multiple sources to 2, 3, 4 displays. We have boxes like that we actually sell a lot. So this is a very, very popular solution for us, and we see a lot of this in the commercial world. And then ultimately, we have stuff where we have lots of sources and lots of displays. We have the boxes to do that as well.
And that would be there are a lot of matrix switching going on here, where you can route any signal to any input to any output.
Any to any. Yeah.
And Adam, can you briefly, because we just got a question about it, can you briefly describe the new OmniStream system about distributed over an IT network?
Yeah, that's actually my next slide here, and what that does is that actually removes the matrix switcher in that, and it allows you to have an infinitely scaled system and send audio and video over your IP network that's been installed. So wherever you have a source, we have a box that encodes that signal onto the network. And wherever we have a display, we have a box that decodes that signal off the network as well. So you can go from building to building, from floor to floor. You're not limited to, run length. You can go literally wherever your network can reach. We can get audio and video and control to that part of the project.
I think that'll answer the question we just had on Facebook about distributed video.
Great. Yeah, it's infinitely scalable. We've released these features over the past year or so, and I got to say it's very quickly moving to putting stuff onto an IP network. It's really interesting what's happening there. The picture quality is outstanding. We can get 4K video over that. And there again, on a 16 by 16 matrix switcher, you have a hard stop at 16 devices. Well, if you have a 17th device, you have to redesign the entire system. On an audio video over IP solution, you simply add another encoder or decoder, and you could.
Yeah, and I was a witness to this at a training a few weeks ago. The latency with their AV over IP stuff is, you can barely tell that it's over the IP network.
Not perceivable. Definitely not perceivable, nor is the picture quality at all. There's the compression these days is really, really good.
Adam, I really appreciate you joining us, taking the time out of your schedule to spend a half an hour with us here on Tech Talk Live. That is kind of what we like to offer our viewers and listeners, is some free technical advice, and
cool.
This has been very educational tonight. I'm sure we've answered a lot of questions that people have about video formatting and then what you bring to the table. So. Thanks for sticking around with us, and I can personally attest that Adam has been extremely helpful in a lot of our integrations, because there's times when we don't know what the best product is, and having a resource on the other end of the phone like Adam is great, because he can come up with and say, well, this is what you should be doing, and they've never led us the wrong way. So thanks for the good advice over the years, and thanks for sticking around with us tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much, Kevin. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.
Cool. Well, that was Adam Griffin for that Lona, and our guest. And speaking of guests, we're going to wrap this thing up. Next week, Laura from... Next month, Laura from Rapco is going to be here, and they're going to be giving away... And you know what? I had this, and I forgot it. They have a brand new Bluetooth adapter.
Yes. Single small box, like their LTI blocks adapters now.
It's a Bluetooth interface for your audio system, and it is brand new. It's going to come to market actually next month, and we're going to have a brand new one to give away. So we'll be giving away a Bluetooth adapter from Rapco Horizon next month on the show. So we're looking forward to Laura joining us in the last half hour, and I want to thank everybody. This was a lot of fun tonight. So. We went over a little bit, but I guess do we have to pay
studio
extra?
time's cheap though.
Okay,
yeah.
That's good.
Stay tuned for Dutch Wonderland.
Yeah, and there'll be more about that. You can just stay tuned, and we'll announce when Dutch Wonderland's going to start airing. So right now it's slated for the second Tuesday of every week. So anyway, thanks for joining us for episode number 5 of Tech Talk Live. We will see you in September. And a month from now. And after that, Gino and Austin and I will be back from Paris for speaker training, and we'll probably be talking about loudspeakers ad nauseum. So either that or French food, which I'm not looking forward to. So thanks a lot. Thanks, Colin. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.